Hi everybody, happy Tuesday. It's 5 o'clock, at least it is here in my house. I don't know what time it is at your house, but it is time for my Tuesday Live at 5. So welcome to another video, and I am super excited to share with you today some cute projects that I made using the Spirited Snowmen stamp set. So this one is in the annual, or not the annual, the holiday catalog, and I'll just show you where you can find it. It is here on page 38. So there is the set. Now in Canada, it's available anywhere in both wood mount and clear mount. It's $37 for the wood mount and $26 for the clear mount. Okay, this is an adorable set, perfect for Christmas, but also awesome for all through the winter. It's got some cute little winter sentiments, even a cute one for Valentine's Day. So I'm going to show you some fun projects today. And we'll get this guy out of the way. These are the three that we're going to make, and I'm going to start actually, I think, with this one. So I'm going to get these guys out of the way. So let's bring in our little bits and bobs. Now, I am going to tell you, I have pre-done some of my coloring on some of my projects just because coloring takes a while and I want to keep this nice and crisp, quick for you so that you can get to the rest of your day. I know it's getting on to supper time, so I want everybody to be able to just check in and then head off to eat their dinner or cook their dinner. So this card is, first of all, I'm going to talk a little bit about the DSP that I used. This is actually from the Dashing Along DSP pack. Now you may remember this back in September was a host exclusive promotion. However, Stampin' Up! Has made this paper available to purchase for $15. So you get a big pack of DSP, and it coordinates with the Dashing Deer bundle that's in the holiday catalog. So I use this fun candy cane stripe for the background of my card. And I've cut the DSP to 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then I have a cherry cobbler card base here that is 4 1/4 inches by 11. And then I've scored it at 5 1/2. I'm going to take and fold that in half along my score line. And before I adhere my DSP, I'm actually going to adhere the ribbon. So here I have this is about a 4 1/2 inch, 5 inch piece of cherry cobbler double stitched ribbon. It's got little X's on one side and little dashes on the other. Both sides are super cute, so it doesn't matter really which one you use. To adhere that to my DSP, I'm going to take and press the ends of the ribbon into a glue dot. So I've got one on each end. And I'm going to lay my DSP or my ribbon across the front of my DSP and wrap it around the ends to secure it, just like that. Okay, now that I've got the ribbon on there, I can go ahead and glue that onto my card base. So again, I'm using Fast Fuse. You can use your adhesive of choice. Fast Fuse is my fave. And I'm still hoarding it because I know eventually they're going to run out of refills and I'm going to cry because I don't love any other adhesive but Fast Fuse. Okay, so there is my background piece. Now here you'll see I've already stamped this little skating snowman. So here's the image when it's uncolored. And I have gone ahead and colored this already using my Stampin' Blends. Now Stampin' Blends, for those who are not familiar with them, are our alcohol-based markers. These markers are fantastic to color with. Like fantastic. You can find the full color lineup on page 205 of the annual catalog. Now there are some additional colors available in the holiday catalog that are not listed in the annual. Okay. Now the awesome thing about this is that during the online extravaganza sale, which starts Black Friday, you're going to be able to get 10% off of these awesome markers, which is pretty darn fantastic. I'll get into the details of that at the end of the video, but I'm just going to mention that you can purchase Stampin' Blends at a 10% discount during this sale, which is pretty darn exciting. All right, so as you can see, I've already colored this guy just in the interest of time. The colors I've used basic black. This is the dark basic black. I used the dark smoky slate for the blades of the skate. I've used the dark real red for the buttons and the scarf and the stripes on his little stocking cap. I've used dark Call Me Clover for the green, and then light smoky slate for the stocking cap, and then dark pumpkin pie for his carrot nose. Okay, now we don't as of yet have a garden green Stampin' Blends. So the closest I could get, and it's pretty darn close, is the dark Call Me Clover. Okay, the background, this green here on this DSP is garden green. So it's pretty darn close. So I've colored him. I'm now going to take a little bit of Tombow because Tombow is repositionable, right? So when I'm trying to center a circle, I use Tombow so I have some wiggle time. So this has been die cut with the Stitch Circles framelit. And I'm layering it on a Cherry Cobbler scallop circle that has been cut with the Layering Circles framelits, which, by the way, will also be on sale during the online extravaganza. The Stitch framelits won't because they're on low inventory, but the Layering Circles will. So keep that in mind. So there I have him. He's layered up. And before I glue him onto the front of my card, I'm going to add my little snowflakes. Well, I'm going to add one snowflake, my big snowflake, this one here. Okay, because it's going to tuck in behind him. So what I have done, this is actually part of a larger sheet that is cut with the Blizzard Thinlit die. So I just took a 4 by 5 inch piece of the Sparkle Glimmer paper. I put some multi-purpose self-adhesive or multi-purpose adhesive sheets on the back of it, ran it through my Big Shot, and then I just cut out some of the snowflakes that I need. And what that has done is turned those die cuts into stickers, so I don't have to fuss with fine tip glue. How awesome is that? So I'm going to just take and stick this little snowflake sort of up in this corner here. Get that little dot out of my way. There we go. And now I'm ready to go ahead and glue my little snowman on there. So to do that, I'm going to take some dimensionals. Hi Irene, how's your day going? Hope you had a safe drive home last night. Yes, 5 dimensionals, because we don't want them getting squished or coming off. So there are my dimensionals. I'm going to stick him right down on the front of the card. Centered is better. Right about there. Okay. Now I have this cute little banner that is cut using the Farmhouse framelits. Now that is one that is at risk for selling out. So if you haven't yet got those, you're going to want to pick those up ASAP, okay? Because once they're gone, they're gone. Now I am using a greeting from the Alpine Adventures stamp set. So I've inked it up with some Memento Tuxedo Black ink. And I'm going to stamp that greeting right on my banner. Now I should also mention, I forgot to mention this earlier, when you are stamping to color with the Stampin' Blends, this is the ink you want to use, okay? The Tuxedo Black is perfect for the Stampin' Blends. It won't run, okay? Any other black ink, not so good, all right? So keep that in mind. So now I have my banner. I'm going to add that to my card with a couple of dimensionals. And I kind of stuck it on so that it overlapped the circle a little bit. It almost, to me, looks a little bit like a snow globe when I put it all together. Whoops, I'll move them over just a bit. There we go. Okay, I'm going to add my little bow, and yes, I pre-tied this one. I'm going to stick that guy right on there. I put my ribbon a little bit higher than I did on my sample, but that's okay, doesn't matter. And then I have a couple more little self-adhesive snowflakes. We'll kind of stick one on here and a little guy on here, and voila, done. How quick and easy was that? Now, obviously it's going to take a little bit longer than I just did to do your coloring, but this is a pretty quick and easy card to put together. All right, so that is number 1, done and done. Alrighty, let's move on to card number 2. Now I love this one. I just think it's so cute. I love those little romantic snowmen. They're so sweet. So for this one, I did it a little differently in that I stamped and colored on crumb cake cardstock. Now you may be wondering how I colored white on the crumb cake, and I'm going to show you. How many of you have ever noticed in our catalog the Stampin' Chalk marker? Anybody ever seen this before? Did you even know it existed? I'm betting you didn't, unless someone else has shown you, because it is so easy to miss. I'm going to show you where you can find it in the annual catalog. It is right here. on page 203. So it's in right along, it's actually right above Wink of Stella, which is like one of my all-time favorite products. So it's on this page with all the coloring tools, and you will find the white Stampin' Chalk marker. It's only $4.75, like in Canada. How cheap is that? $4.75. But what it does is it allows us to color white on darker cardstock. So I'm just going to pull out my little bits here and set this aside, and you'll see I've already gone ahead and colored this one too, because this one did take a little bit to color. So to color my snowman, I just used my Stampin' Chalk marker and colored them in white. How awesome is that? So now you can have your white snowman on a darker cardstock background. Okay. The other nice thing about the stamping blends is you can still use them on the darker colors and they show up. So I've used both shades, the light and dark Old Olive on this one. I've used the light Old Night of Navy. I've used the dark Basic Black, the dark Cherry Cobbler, and the dark Soft Suede for their arms. Oh, and I used the dark Cajun Craze for the snowman's nose. Okay, so you will find that when you're coloring on darker colored cardstock, the darker shades of the blends will show up a little bit better. Obviously, the lighter shades, you won't quite see the same degree of color as you would on a lighter piece of cardstock. Okay, so there are my little snowmen. This one has been cut as well with the Stitch Shapes framelits. Those are my go-to framelits. I use them more than any other thing. Now, unfortunately, they will not be on sale during the online extravaganza because they are on low inventory. But they are well worth the price at full price. If you don't have these yet, they are, if you can only buy one set of dies, this is the one that I would recommend buying. All right. Okay, so I'm going to glue these guys onto a scalloped oval that I've cut from Night of Navy cardstock. And once again, I'm going to use some Tombow for that, just so that I have the wiggle time to get it centered properly. So there we go. So this scalloped oval was cut with the Layering Ovals framelits, okay? And those ones will be on sale during the extravaganza. If you haven't got them, you're going to want them. All right, we're going to set that aside. I'm going to talk for a minute about this DSP. This DSP is from the Under the Mistletoe DSP pack. It's got some awesome plaid patterns on one side, and then it's got fun holiday florals on the back, okay? Now, this particular DSP pack is available as part of my customer promotion this month, where with a $50 order, you get this pack of DSP free. That's a $15 value free with a $50 order, okay? So what I have done, once again, is cut my DSP to 4 by 5 1/4 inches. I have my card base, exact same measurements as the last card, so 4 1/4 by 11, and then scored at 5 1/2. I'm going to fold that in half, crisp it up with my bone folder, and before I go to glue this on, I'm going to show you how I did this ribbon. There's a little trick that I use, and it involves a bottle. Now, a wine bottle is too big. You can't use a wine bottle. It's got to be a relatively small one. And I'm going to take my gingham ribbon. And I like to work when I'm tying bows right from the roll because I don't waste anything, right? So I'm going to take my ribbon. I'm looping it around the bottle, all right? And I'm going to tie my knot. So here I have, I'm keeping my ribbon flat. I'm crossing my left one over the right, bringing it around and through. Okay, I'm going to make my loop with my right tail. I'm going to wrap my left hand tail around and feed it through. Okay, so there's my nice little bow with a square knot, nice and tidy. Okay, the key to having nice flat knots and nice flat loops on your bows is keeping your ribbon flat, not allowing it to twist. Okay, so now I'm going to take and slide that off the bottle, and now I have a loop. Whoops, sorry, didn't mean to jostle the camera there. Hope I'm not making you seasick. So now I'm going to cut this loose from my roll. So now I've got this loop of ribbon. All right. By the way, this ribbon will also be on sale for 10% off during the online extravaganza. Are you getting the idea that this is a really great sale? It's a pretty awesome sale. Yes, yes it is. All right, so there's my loop. Now, this is obviously not going to fit around my DSP, not even close. So what I'm going to do is actually trim this. And now I have a piece that is long enough to stick, I can stick the bow down, and the tails can wrap around the ends of my DSP. Now I want to make sure when I put my bow on that I have it sort of snugged right up beside my little snowman there. Okay, so I want it to go right about there. Now, do you see how this little tail is a little bit short? That's okay. All is not lost. So what I'm going to do, actually, is trim this off a little bit. Don't worry. It's all good. So I'm going to take and stick my bow down. So I'm going to take a glue dot, press the knot into the glue dot, and I'm going to put this back on just to make sure I get my bow exactly where I want it. So it's right about there. Okay, so my bow is on. Now I'm going to take and stick down one end of my ribbon, just like that. I'm going to take and wrap the other end, like that. Okay, now if I glue my snowman on, it's going to look a little odd because I don't have the ribbon coming around here. So what are we going to do about that? We're going to take this little bit of scrap and we're just going to patch it. So I'm going to put it on, right about there. And then I'm going to take and wrap my end around there. And then when I put my snowman on, no one will ever know that it's patched. How awesome is that? Okay, so now I have these little tails here that I want to tidy up. So I'm just going to take and fold them in half and trim them into a cute little V here. There's one. And there is two. Okay, so there's my sweet little bow. Now, because I've got my ribbon on, I can go ahead and glue that onto my card base, which I'm going to do right now. So again, fast fuse to the rescue. And we'll stick that guy on there. The nice thing about cutting your DSP to 4 by 5 1/4 is it gives you an 1/8 of an inch border all the way around your card, and I like the look of that size border. I use that size a lot. So now I'm going to put my little snowman on with some dimensionals. You like that little ribbon trick there, Irene? It's a great way to save if you screw up, like I do all the time. Or to save ribbon, right? Because then you're not tying ribbon all the way around the back of your card that nobody sees. So I'm going to put my little snowman on right about there. I actually need to trim this tail a little bit shorter. It's still a bit on the long side, just so that they're nice and even. So I'll trim a bit more off of there. There we go. All right, almost done. We need a sentiment. So I'm going to set this aside. I have just a little scrap of Whisper White cardstock. This is what is left when you cut a 4 by 5 1/4 inch panel. So these are the little offcuts. Don't throw them out. They're perfect for doing little sentiment banners. So I have my Night of Navy ink, and I have the Love Never Melt sentiment from the Spirited Snowman stamp set. So I'm going to ink it up and stamp it on my little strip of white cardstock. I'll get that out of the way. And then I'm going to take and trim this into a little banner. So I've shown this before, but I'll show it again. So I'm going to trim off the end as long as I want it. Then I'm going to take my snips. I'm going to snip in the middle as far in as I want my V of my banner to go. Then I'm going to go from one corner into the snip and the other corner. And that's how you get a nice even banner. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other end. So snip into the middle, corner in, and corner in. And there you go. Nice and easy. All right, now to put this on the front of the card, this is already popped up, right? So that's already raised. If I glue this flat, it's going to look weird because that's going to have a little bump in it. If I put dimensionals on both ends, it's still going to have a bump because this is going to be double popped and this end's going to be single popped. So the solution to that is to put a dimensional on one end. So I'm going to use minis just because this is a skinny little strip. And I'm going to use a glue dot on the end where it overlaps my little oval there. So we'll get rid of these backings. And then that's going to go on. Now I don't want to cover up my snowman. Nice thing about this paper is there's a nice grid, so it helps you get them on there straight. And there's my little sentiment. All right. Now I have some more little snowflakes that I die cut using that Blizzard Thinlit. So I'm gonna just stick a couple of little snowflakes on here. And I'll tuck one guy in there. The nice thing about popping these up too is you can kind of slide them in behind afterwards. And we got a little one here. These little snowflakes I love. They're so teeny, but they're cute. So I'll put one up here. Got another little guy down here. And we got another bigger guy. We'll put one kind of here. And oh, one more little one. There's another little one. I'll stick him down there. And there you go. Quick and easy, right? So I love that this is a little bit different color scheme. This does not have to be a Christmas card. This could totally be a Valentine's card. I think this would be an adorable Valentine's card. Valentine's is in the middle of winter, for goodness sake. So I think this would be an awesome Valentine's card to give to my sweetie. And in fact, I might just do that. All right, so there is card number 2. All right, now, are you getting tired of seeing me pre-color everything? Because I left one to color, so I can show you how to use the blends. All right, so I'm gonna move this stuff out of the way and pull in the last card, and this is by far my favorite. I saved my favorite to last. How many of you like shaker cards? I love shaker cards. They're so much fun. They make noise, and they have movement, and that just makes your cards so much more interesting. So I made this cute little shaker card using this absolutely happy, joyful little snowman here. How can you not be happy getting that card, a card with that little guy on it? So I'm going to show you how to put together a shaker card for those of you that have never made one before. And I'm going to give you a couple of little tips for how to get the best result. Okay? All right. So pull out all my little bits here. This one I am actually going to stamp and color. So you get to watch me color. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. You may get bored and go away. I hope not. All right, so I have pre-done a little bit. This is a piece of pool party cardstock that once again I have cut to 4 by 5 1/4 inches. I ran it through my Big Shot and die cut the largest circle using the layering circles die. And then I ran it through a second time using the softly falling embossing folder. Okay, so it's important that you die cut first and then do your embossing. If you emboss first and then die cut, you're going to smush your embossing when you do your cutting. Okay, so that's just something to keep in mind. If you're going to be die cutting and embossing on the same piece of cardstock, die cut first, then emboss. Okay, now to create my shaker, I need to have a window sheet here, right? So we actually sell window sheets. Did you know that? I bet you didn't. Maybe you did. They're in the catalog, and I didn't mark the page, but I bet I can find it pretty darn quick. Yes, I can. There it is. Page 192. So it's on the same page as all your specialty cardstocks, your foil sheets and your glimmer sheets. There are the window sheets. So you get 2 12 by 12 sheets for $6.75 in Canada. All right, and they last forever because you don't use a whole lot of it when you're making a shaker card. So this piece I have cut to 3 1/2 inches square. It's going to fit right behind my die cut circle there so that I create my window for my shaker. All right, now I find the easiest way to adhere the window sheets is to just use glue dots. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put 9 glue dots all the way around my little square. So 1 in each corner and then 1 in the middle of each side. Okay, I'm going to stick this down. I want to make sure that my glue dots are not visible in my circle. Ooh, I think I got that one over a little too far. That's all right. We can deal. There we go. Stick that down. Look, I just made it. Hee hee. Okay, so there is my window. All right, all set. I'm going to set that aside for just a minute. We're going to stamp and color our little snowflake, or snowman, not snowflake. He's a snowman. He's not a flake. Well, maybe he's a flake. I don't know. All right, so I have my stamp, my happy little snowman stamp, and I have my Memento Tuxedo Black ink. Again, because I'm going to be coloring with the alcohol-based Stampin' Blends, I want to use the Memento ink. And I'm going to stamp him sort of in the middle of my square here. All right. Now, I am going to use several colors, and I'll tell you which colors of blends I'm using. I've got a bunch of them here. So first of all, this is not the one that I need. This is the one that I need. I have my light pumpkin pie that I'm going to use for his little carrot nose. And forgive me for a second, I got to put my glasses on because I can't see a thing. All right, so here I'm using the brush tip. So when you look at the Stampin' Blends, you will see that there are two tips. So the one end, it has a fine line here, and a picture, it's like a chisel point, okay? And then the other end is a fine point brush tip. Okay, now it's a little confusing because this is a thick line, so you would think that it's going to make a thick line, but actually that tip is really, really fine. And I find when I'm coloring little tiny detail like this, I find the very tip of this to be the best way to do that. Okay, you basically just tickle the paper. You hardly have to apply any pressure at all, and you get really easy coverage. The other thing that I want to mention about the blends is you'll notice that the lids are quite snug when you can hear that click when you put them back on. You want to make sure that you hear that click, and that's how you know that they're sealed. Okay, with alcohol-based markers, if you don't click the lid shut all the way, they're going to dry out on you. Okay, the alcohol evaporates quite quickly, so that would be a tragedy. So remember, make sure it clicks. Listen for the click. All right, I didn't bring my gray over. That's okay. We're going to use the light Real Red to color his little buttons. 2, 3. I don't know if you can see, I am like barely touching this paper. And his little red boots. Okay, now I'm not worrying about shading on this guy because the color is, or the space to color is so small that it's almost impossible to get shading with this particular image. So I'm coloring the stripes on his scarf. And then I'm going to color the spots on his scarf, or his hat rather. That's not a scarf, that's a hat. I do know the difference. And I'm going to color the brim of his hat red too. I love the combination of Real Red and Pool Party for Christmas and for winter. I don't know, it makes me happy. And then I'm going to color the pom-pom on his hat. So that's that. So then I'm going to take my light Pool Party, and I'm going to color the other stripes on his scarf. And I'm going to color the background of his hat. Okay, pretty quick and easy. And then the last little bit is to color his arms and legs, and for that I'm using the light Crumb Cake. So again, I am barely touching this paper. It's just with the very tip, just kind of tickling it. Okay, there we go. There's my colored snowman. Isn't he cute? Oh, love him. All right, next, I'm going to take my snowflakes, which I hope I have. What do I do with them? Eek! Where are my snowflakes? Snowflakes, where'd you go? Okay, did I put them back in the stamp set? Maybe I did. Are they there? Oh, look at that, they're there. Forgot to mount them on a block. Well, we can remedy that easily enough. All right, there are my snowflakes. I also need my Pool Party ink pad, which happens to be in the other room, so that's okay. We'll use Balmy Blue, doesn't matter. And I'm gonna stamp some snowflakes. So I'm gonna just ink this up, and I'm gonna go just sort of around the top of my snowman. I don't want to stamp over top of him because that would be tragic. We worked hard to color that. Okay, and it's just going to give a little bit of a background for my snowman. Okay, all right. Now here I have my card base. Okay, same size as the other two cards. I tried to keep this simple today. So we've got 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. I'm going to fold that in half along my score line. And then I need to get an idea of where to put my snowman. So here is a little trick. I'm going to take and put some adhesive on the back of my colored snowman. Okay. Then I'm going to take my piece with the window sheet, and I'm going to line him up so he's centered. Just like that. Okay. Then I'm going to take my card base, and I'm going to lay this down where it's going to end up going centered on the front of my card, like that. Then when I lift it up, my snowman's all stuck down, and he's going to be perfectly centered. All right, did you catch that? Okay, now, for a shaker card, we have to have space for our shaker filling to move around. If I go ahead and glue this flat on there, there is no way that it's going to shake. So we have to have a bit of a gap. So Stampin' Up is awesome for providing us everything we need. And for that, we use our foam adhesive strips. All right, so these come on sheets like this. They're big, long strips. So I'm going to peel one off. They're double-sided adhesive. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to work my way around my circle. Now you want to be back far enough from the opening that your adhesive is not going to be visible in the window of your shaker. So we're going to go all the way around. Now you see I have a little gap here. That's all right. We can fix that. I'm going to trim a little bit more. Now, this is an important little tip. When you are adding another strip, you've got to make sure that it's butt right up against the previous one. If you have a gap, your filling is going to fall right out that hole. Okay, so make sure it's butt right up. And then I'm going to measure and trim this again so that it's butt right up against. Okay, I don't want any gaps there. Gaps are bad. Now, I have these extra little bits. I'm going to use those to put around the front of my card so that I can glue the whole thing onto the front of my card base. Okay, I'll just grab another little bit to go across the top, just like that. Okay, I might need just a bit more in the corners there. Put one here and one here. Did I mention I like my stuff to stay pots? All right, so there is my front panel. Okay, so that's going to go on there like that. Now, we need filling, right, for our shaker card. So you can use just about anything that is small and will shake. So these are just some seed beads that I picked up at the dollar store. All right, they're just plain white, but they're just the perfect size for this little shaker. So the trick now is to pour these out and not have them roll all over your desk. So what I usually do is I kind of make a little well with my fingers, and I'll pour these guys out. Okay, and then I just kind of move them all in together like that and just pat them down. Oh, one got away. So that they're sort of in the middle over my snowman. All right, I'm going to put the lid on these because I know if I knock it over, I'm going to have seed beads everywhere. All right, now I'm going to peel the, oh, wait, one more tip. I almost forgot. When you are, just before you stick this on, you're going to want to take your embossing buddy and you're going to go around, slide over here. I'm going to go around the edges of my adhesive strip with the embossing buddy. Any idea why I might be doing that? Anyone? Anyone? This is the teacher and me. The reason for that is to take some of the adhesive off the edges of that strip so that my seed beads don't stick to the adhesive. The other thing is to take some of the static off the window sheet. Now, can you see how cloudy that is? I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but it's cloudy because there's powder in that embossing buddy. So if I had remembered, I would have a tissue or a paper towel here, but I forgot. So I'm just going to take my finger and wipe that clean. There we go. How's that for a nice clean window? All right, there we go. Now I'm going to take off my backing from my foam strips here. Get rid of all of that. Around we go. Well, hello, Michelle. How are ya? Hope you're having a good day. Are you babysitting? All right, so one more. There we go. So I have all my backing off. Now, this is the only part that's even remotely tricky. So I'm going to take this, and I want to center my panel on the front of my card. Take your time while you're doing this. No rush. Okay, and then I want to take and run my finger around the edge of that to make sure that it is completely sealed. I don't want to start losing seed beads at the bottom of my card. Okay, so now that that's on there, voila, shaker card. How awesome is that? It's snowing! Actually, it is snowing here. Oh, Emma duty. Emma would like this card. It makes noise. All right, so to finish this off, there's just a few little embellishments here. Again, here is another piece of that, what's it called? Shimmer Glimmer paper. Ha! Say that fast. That I die cut using the Blizzard Thinlit. Can you tell I'm addicted to that die? I love it. It has made my life so much easier. Usually I'm cranking through like 15,000 snowflakes this time of year, but this thing makes it awesomely quick. So I'm going to peel off another big snowflake here. So I've got my multi-purpose adhesive sheet on the back of the shimmer paper or glimmer paper so that it turns all of these little die cuts into stickers so I don't have to futz with fine tip glue. So we're going to stick a snowflake on there, and we'll grab another one, peel that guy off there, and we'll stick one over here. And now, before I put my last one on, I need to stamp my little sentiment. So I've got just a little scrap of Whisper White cardstock, and I've got this Be Jolly stamp, which is from the Candy Cane Season Stamp Set, which is actually going to be my product of the week next week. So if you have been looking for ideas for this adorable stamp set and the coordinating punch, make sure you tune in for Live at 5 next week, because that's coming up next week. All right, I have some real red ink here and my Be Jolly stamp, so I'm going to go ahead and stamp that. And then I'm going to use my label punch. Modern label? No. Everyday label? Classic label? I can't remember what this one's called. Somebody help me out. It's one of the label punches. And I'm going to slide that in there and center my image and pop it out. And then I'm going to add a couple of mini dimensionals again. Where did I put my mini dimensionals? They're there. So 1, 2, 3. Get rid of my little backings here. There we go. And we're going to pop that onto the bottom of my little window there. And then I'm going to add another little snowflake. Just like that. And then my last little touch, well, second last little touch, is a cute little red bow. So here's another bow tying lesson for you. I figure if I show you often enough, maybe you'll all learn how to tie bows, right? Okay, so this is some of the 1/8 real red satin ribbon that is in the annual catalog, which, by the way, will also be on sale during the online extravaganza. And I'm going to make my loops, my bunny ears. Okay, I'm going to cross my left one over the right, bring it through, voila, insta bow. Super quick and easy. Anybody can do it, really and truly. There is no magical talent to tying bows whatsoever. So I'm going to trim that off, and again here, and grab a glue dot. Where are you, glue dot? There you are. I'm going to press the knot of my bow into that glue dot, and then I'm going to stick it right on my snowflake, just like that. I love that little pop of red on the pool party. And there's your finished card. How cute is that? You like? Oh, no, I forgot. No, I forgot the bling. How could I forget the bling? All right, we need some bling because everything's better with bling. So we've got a couple of rhinestones here. One there. And one over here. And you notice I don't have my take your pick tool. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere buried on my desk. It's been a little crazy around here the last week or two. So my craft room is a total disaster area. It's a good thing this is all you can see of it, because honestly, you probably wouldn't even be able to see me amid the mess right now. It would be like Where's Waldo, except with Where's Lita? Hi, Heather. Glad you could join us. All right, so there is my finished shaker card. Isn't that fun? I love it. All right, I'm going to bring in the other two projects. So there's one, and there is two. Hold on. There is two. So those are our finished cards for today. I hope you enjoyed those projects. I love this stamp set. It's just so much fun and fun to color. So if you like to color, this is an awesome set for you. Again, I mentioned that the online extravaganza is starting on Black Friday. That's this Friday. And the way that it works, there are different categories of products from the annual catalog that are coming on sale for 48 hours at a time. So starting on Friday, so Friday and Saturday of this week, all paper and embellishments will be on sale for 10% off. All right. Then on Sunday and Monday, stamps and kits will be on sale for 10% off. And then finally, to finish it off, Tuesday and Wednesday, tools and ink will be on sale. So that's when you can get your Stampin' blends, and you can get your chalk markers and all that fun stuff. So everything is basically on sale. There are a few exclusions just because they're on low inventory, but Honestly, there has never been a sale like this. This is awesome. Like everything is coming on sale. So it is the time to give your honey your wish list for Christmas and have them pick up your goodies. And if you order from me and have it shipped to me, then I'll even gift wrap it and send it to your house ready to go under the tree. All right, so that's a pretty awesome deal. Pass that along to your significant other, whoever is buying Christmas gifts for you, and I would be happy to pick stuff up during this sale and save a little money for you and wrap it all up and get it under your tree. All right, so before I go, I just want to mention once again my promotion for this month. If you make a $50 purchase, let me just move this out of the way. This is my promotion. Sorry. Got distracted. I accidentally turned on my scan and cut. So if you order using this host code, and this host code will stay open throughout the online extravaganza. See, you can pick up this promotion as part of the online extravaganza, which makes it just that much better. So this is your host code. If you spend $50, you will receive a free pack of Under the Mistletoe DSP. So that is the DSP that I used on this card. Okay, that's one of the patterns. All right, if you spend $100, you will receive the Hung with Care stamp set for free. Okay, this is a host exclusive set that can only be purchased with Stampin' Rewards, which kick in at $200. So with just a $100 purchase, you can get this stamp set. How awesome is that? So that $50 and $100 will go much farther during the online extravaganza. So make sure you're placing your orders using this host code, and I will send you the appropriate product for free. Oh, did I mention if you spend $150, you get both? I think that's kind of a no-brainer, but just so you know, that's the way it works. All right. Okay. I am done for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all again next week for Tuesday Live at 5.